A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Mzansi Affairs. My name is Mbeki, Maimane. And if you would like to join the conversation with us today based on the headlines that we'll be having, you can join us on our social media platforms. We are Share Online on each and every social media platform. Facebook, we are Share Online. YouTube, Share Online. Also on TikTok, we are Share Online. Those are the streaming platforms that we are using as of right now. We are live on those platforms. YouTube, we are live also, and Facebook, we are also live. I am not alone. I'm with Mr. JB, which I'm going to let right now to introduce himself. Mr. JB.
Good morning, Mo. Good morning to our listeners and our viewers. I'm good, Mo. And how about you?
I am very good, actually. I'm very good, and it's good to hear from you. Today will be the both of us, as we know that Nosi would not be joining us. So, hopefully, we will push the show and actually cover everything that we need to cover. As I told you at the beginning of the show, we are Share Online. So, please do engage with us on our social media platforms. We are Share Online on each and every social media platform. And if you would like to leave down your comment on our WhatsApp line and you want to call us in right now, the number to call is 061 524 7758. 061 524 7758 is the number to call in. So today, right now on the show, we are going to be discussing these headlines, the following headlines. We will be discussing Joe Pahla to follow up on the maintenance program at the Helen Joseph Hospital, as we saw the viral video that was circulating around on social media, where we saw Mr. Tom Holland exposing the facilities at Helen Joseph Hospital. So we will be covering what Mr. Joe Pahla said in terms of doing a follow-up and what does the health department has to do with it. Also, the headline we'll be covering is Mbeki warns ANC failure to renew will lead to death. As we know that the ANC has not built up a new structure, in the new developed government that is called the Government of National Unity. So Mbeki is so worried on what is going to happen and what is the future of ANC looking like. As we know that the Government of National Unity is now discovered, and it is now that is going to be used right here in South Africa. So Mbeki warns ANC that if nothing happens, if there is no renewal in the next coming up years or weeks, it means that the ANC will be over, and that will be the end of the ANC. Lastly but not least, we'll be discussing raising children with addiction, in which we would like to hear some of your views, how it's like, and share your experiences with us, how it's like, raising children with addiction. As we know that the story that is circulating right now, social media, the son of the legend Chico Twala Longe Twala has not been given bail due to the sentence that he has been given and the charges that he's been facing right now, as he went to jail for stealing his father equipment. So do make sure that you stay with us as we're going to discuss the following headlines. We are Share Online on each and every social media platforms, and you're watching Mzansi Affairs. My name is Mbeki Maimane, and I am joined by Mr. Jabulani. So we'll be discussing further our headlines, and we would also like to hear from you. What are your views, and what do you think should be done? So let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we will discuss our first headline right here. Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Mzansi Affairs with me, Mbeki, my money, joined by Mr. Jabulani. So if you would like to join us through our social media pages, we are share online on each and every social media page. And also, if you want to call our WhatsApp line, the number to call or send your voice note in is 061 524 7758. 061 524 7758 is the number to call us in. We are streaming live right now on YouTube and also Facebook and TikTok. So you can leave down your comment and tell us what you think of the following headlines that we will be discussing right here. So, first headline, Health Deputy Minister Joe Phaahla says the Gauteng Health Department promised to conduct a maintenance program to fix Helen Joseph Hospital. He's promised to check in with the MEC on Monday to see how the program is progressing. Phaahla was responding to a viral video of showing the terrible condition at the hospital. Former broadcaster Tom London says his comments on social media are being confused. He posted a video criticizing a poor condition at the hospitals. He now says he received good clinical treatment but was appalled at the attitude of health professionals. So before we play the video, I just want to throw it to you, Mr. JP, and tell me about your views and your thought about this headline. As we know and as we've seen the video, the circulating video that was on social media, where Tom Holland was showing us the facilities at the Helen Joseph Hospital. So I just want to hear from you, what are your views when it comes to that?
I think more it's one of those things that it's been happening for long, but now it's been identified, and government want to be hands-on and they want to do action. So our people have been suffering with these public hospitals. It's not only Helen Joseph, a lot of public hospital are not in good conditions. So there's a lot happening, but I think is going to work if they can attend to it and work face by face. So it's one of those things that maybe a lot of people they've been complaining about. So a lot of people that are in government and working in good companies, they've got medical aids, so they don't. It doesn't affect them in most cases. But now it's clear that since the guy exposed Helen Joseph and they are putting attention to it, it shows that there will be something that will be happen from now on, and it will be the first phase as a Helen Joseph, and then they will attend to other hospitals as well. That's what I think more for now.
All right, thank you about that. And following up the follow-up of Mr. Joe Phaahla, the Health Deputy Minister, this was the video from Mr. Tom Holland when he was at the Helen Joseph Hospital.
They treat the patients like cockroaches. No doctor, I haven't seen one doctor walk up to a patient in our ward and go, "Good morning, Mr. So-and-so, how are you?" Nothing. They treat the patients with absolute disdain and disrespect. I'm talking about this from the young Wits medical students all the way up the chain at this hospital. I have never seen a level of disrespect for human beings like this in my life. Every doctor here assumes you're a hobo that's come off the streets. The doctors here are behaving like the patients are their little experiments. Here. Taps. What, do you think it works? Nah, that tap doesn't work. Let's check the ceilings out. Well, they're peeling and flaking and stuffed. Right? All of this is rusted. This is my bed. The plug doesn't work, it's blown. That's all rusted.
I mean, seeing this, it speaks to the competence of, what is happening at the hospitals, because we know that a hospital is a facility whereby, people who are sick and having different medical condition. I know you might not have seen this, but I think you also heard what Mr. Tom was speaking about, that, the treatment that they get from doctors and nurses, it's not as good as they have, would expect, in the Department Department of Health. So I just want to know from you, man, like how important it is for the people who are working in the medical field, to make sure in the hospitals that people are well taken care of, especially patients.
Uh, I think the government's supposed to pay attention to details. So when it comes to health, health is something that is sensitive to everyone more. It doesn't matter your skin color or where you're from, And then when you go to hospital, in most cases, you are in a worse condition, more especially when you're admitted. So you need to get medical attention in time, and they make sure that everything is certain around you. So most of the government officials, it doesn't matter which departments, they direct feet, because they know that their things are already there when it comes to pensions. I mean, like the payments, they get money in time and they got advantage, unlike private, So it comes back to our government and our people and the mentality already that they have when it comes to public sectors, So how they treat people. So uh, to be honest, it's been I'm being ashamed about everything that is happening, but that's the conditions that we're living in, and it's the reality. It's better now because it's clear, everyone see it, and now they want to attend it because there is a complaint. What about if there was no complaint? It means there was something that will be going on, and people will be dying, and uh, there are people that we love. When we send people to hospital, we're not sending them to grave. We want them to come back and live with us and to get attention of whatever it is that they have. So that's the problem that we have with our government. They pay attention to things after when there is a report. You understand? And I think now it's being identified because the person that is complaining, even I didn't see the video, I can tell that it's a white person. So that's one of the things that we have crisis about in our country.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the crises that South Africa's health emergency is facing right now, and it is very important to hear from the Health Deputy Minister himself, Mr. Joe Patla, on what he had to say about the viral video that we've just watched when it comes to the conditions in the Helen Joseph Hospital. So this was the statement from the one and only Health Deputy Minister Joe Patla.
Ombuds report on the Rahima Musa Hospital, we had a number of engagements with the Gauteng Department of Health. At some stage, I also visited Helen Joseph Hospital. That was after the fire which gutted a building in central Johannesburg. And there were quite a number of patients who were admitted at Helen Joseph. So we had time to also just visit the hospital. And at that stage, but maybe let me just take it further backwards to say, before that, there had also been some concerns about maintenance of facilities, including, as you're showing now, ablutions and others. And at that stage, I actually delegated one of our deputy director generals to work with Gauteng to focus specifically on Helen Joseph. And I was at that time then assured that there had also been a change of management, and there was a program of actually making sure that the facilities at the hospital are attended to. Subsequent to that, after the fire, I also visited the hospital with the MEC, and I was assured that there was a maintenance program which actually was being implemented. So it's quite disappointing. So we will be, just following up with the MEC later today, just to be assured and also to give whatever support we can, not just to Helen Joseph, but also to following up on facilities like Rahima Musa and others, just to make sure that what we are assured of that it's happening is actually happening.
I mean, as we hear from the deputy Deputy Minister of Health, Mr. Joe Patla, he's not only mentioning that Helen Joseph, has the program of fixing the facilities and making sure that the hospitals are taken care of in terms of maintenance. He mentioned that also Rahima Musa is facing the same problem. So as much as he spoke about delegating people to assist in this program and make sure that these programs are being done and the hospitals are being, fixed for the betterment of people and the patients who will be admitted in the hospital. And it poses a question that what is being done with the money that is allocated in the health department to make sure that these hospitals are well taken care of and everyone who is there, especially the patients, are also taken care of. It's something that Mr. Joe Patla is just telling us and taking us through, and showing the incompetence that they are having right now in the health, department. It's such furious, to face things like this. As much as the NHI bill, was brought to the table to the people, promising them, the universal health care. So before I jump to you, Mr. JP, I just wanted to go back, to the NHI that was presented to the people and the president had signed. So the NHI is the National Health Insurance. So right now on my screen is all you need to know when it comes to the NHI. So on Wednesday, July 5, and also dating back to 12 June 2023, the National Assembly, which is the NA, passed the National Health Bill Insurance. This NHI bill seeks to provide universal access to healthcare services in the country in accordance with the National Health Insurance White Paper, the Constitution of South Africa Health Insurance Fund, and it sets its powers, function and governance structures. The fund will purchase healthcare services for all users who are registered with it. So we see that the bill will also create mechanisms for equitable, effective, and efficient utilization of the resources of the fund to meet the health needs of users and preclude or limit undesirable, unethical, and unlawful practices in relation to the fund. It further seeks to address the barriers to access the health. So I just want to ask, a question, and let us have a discussion, right here, Mr. JB, because we are speaking about not taking care and not maintaining the existing public hospitals, and then there's an NHI bill that want to purchase the healthcare services that are available out there. So what do you think this will impose when it comes to the health of South Africans, especially? I just want us to discuss that since the NHI bill was discussed and signed into law, do you think it is going to make a difference in what we're seeing, as much as we were just watching the viral video from Tom Holland when he was at Helen Joseph Hospital? Do you think it will spark up controversial in terms of the betterment of the healthcare services?
To my knowledge, more, I think I will say there is a lot of number of issues that we need to face, more especially when we talk about the NHIP and all that. So there is incompetency when it comes to governments, it's what people they've been worried about, and the misuse of health funds, if you can check from the beginning, because all the time we do have budget that this kind of budget, it go to health department, so it's supposed to be doing the right thing. So it shows incompetency, and then there are people that are not doing their job right, so or there are people that are not delegating people right to the right position to help people when it comes to health. So that's why there were people that were opposing the bill, because if things goes to public sectors and governments, and it gets rotted, so it's something that we're supposed to face and fix our hospitals before we signing the bill. But the bill has been signed, and then it was sounding good, but all we've been worried about is it's the people that been going to be delegated to work in such areas, and the funds, because everything that we must deal with, it has funds, and more especially when it comes to government, they fail when they are misusing the funds. So I think now we have a double question, or double question when it comes to NHI bill and looking at our public hospitals. So if we can deal and sweep and clean our hospital, I've heard the deputy that is talking about Gauteng. This issue, I can tell you, is every province. So if Gauteng is struggling, imagine the province like Limpopo or Eastern Cape, somewhere that is far, how they're feeling when it comes to public hospitals. So it might be worse than that, So, but they have to admit and deal with it each and every day. So our government needs to be shaken a little bit more than what is happening right now. So I think it has to be started with Ellen Joseph and the rest of what he mentioned. But I think if like we can bring people to the table, they can complain, they can load a lot of complaint about a public hospital, but they end up no choices. To my experience with public hospitals, there are long queues. They are working with old systems. There are a lot of things that need to be fixed. So since they started with Olen Joseph, I think maybe we'll take it from there to go somewhere. But I'm still worried, and I don't have confidence in certain people and certain areas where government need to deal with funds and people's there up to so far.
I mean, with the existing problems right now in the healthcare system of ours, is it viable to, apply the NHI right now? Because we know that this NHI bill is being opposed by a lot of citizens that, it is not going to work. We have a reason of why we have the private healthcare services and the public healthcare services. So obviously, it also pushes us to understand, what is the NHI and how will it change the system. Of course, there are benefits to it on what will be the benefits, because we know that universal healthcare means everyone gets equal access of healthcare wherever they are. So the NHI is a fund paid our taxes from which the government will buy healthcare services for all of us who live in the country from healthcare providers in the public sector and private sector. We know that we have your bonitors, people who give those medical aid schemes, your private medical aid schemes that are given to people, and people who pay for those medical schemes. So the government says with this NHI bill, we will buy all of those healthcare services and provide them to the people of the country in affordable prices. But now the question is, now that there are public, existing hospitals, why are they not taken care of with the existing money from the taxes? And it also continues by saying this means when you feel unwell, you can go to the nearest, GP or clinic of your choice that has a contract with NHI and not worry about the cost of care. So these are the things that we need to look deep into. As much as we just seen a video of Tom Holland in Helen Joseph Hospital, the facilities there, they're not looking very well for a patient who has been admitted with sicknesses. You can see the ceiling falling off from the roof that can cause harm to the patients that are there. And then the question again is the two questions again that are being asked is, why do we need the NHI and what are the benefits of the national healthcare insurance? Providing healthcare for all. South Africa is a member of the United Nations community, and we have committed that we will implement universal health coverage for all. And they believe that access to healthcare is a fundamental right for all. The government has the legislative mandate to realize realize this right. And the government also has the responsibility to implement universal health coverage to ensure that all people are able to access health care and when and where they need it without suffering financial hardship. So also the last one is reducing burden of diseases. Extending healthcare coverage for all South Africans will improve access to care, quality of care, and continuity of care. The national health insurance reforms will contribute to the health system having a coordinated and well-structured response to the burden of disease. This was the headline, and we would like to hear from you at home if you're watching right now. That what do you think about the follow-up that Mr. Joe Patla is doing on these public hospitals, especially Helen Joseph and Rahima Musa, as we see in the viral video that is circulating right now on social media of Tom Holland, showing the facilities there at Helen Joseph hospitals. So please do make sure that you join us on our social media platforms. We are shared online on each and every social media platform. If you'd like to send your voice note or you'd like to call us in and tell us about the differences that they can make to make sure that our health facilities and healthcare services are well taken care of, you can simply call us on our WhatsApp line, which is 061-524-7758, 061-524-7758. Let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we will now cover the Mbeki headline: when he warns ANC failure to renew will lead to the death of the party. Let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we will discuss that further. Welcome back, and I thank you for staying with us right here on Mzansi Affairs. My name is Moketi Maiman, and I am with Mr. Jabulani, still discussing our headlines of the day. If you would like to join us and engage with us on our social media platforms, we are shared online on each and every social media platform. So do make sure that you leave down your comment and tell us what you think on the headlines that we are discussing for today. We would really like to hear your point of view and what needs to be done on what we are discussing today. And also, if you want to call us or send your voice note on our WhatsApp line, the WhatsApp line is 061-524-7758, 061-524-7758. We are streaming live on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, please make sure and do yourself a favor to subscribe and press the notification button so that whenever we come again with news, you would also be informed and notified. If you're also on Facebook, watching from Facebook, do make sure that you follow us, and on TikTok you follow us, and you also tap the screen and share the live to the people who would like to hear what we are discussing. On the other news, Mbeki warns ANC failure to renew will lead to its death. The ANC is sentencing itself to death if it doesn't renew itself. That's the stern warning from the former president, Mr. Thabo Mbeki. He says the ANC has been discussing its renewal agenda for too long without anything real happening. Mbeki also says the party must review and broaden its step aside rule. This comes after the 29th of May elections that we were having earlier this year. So Mr. Mbeki is coming and saying that if ANC doesn't step up their game, if ANC doesn't do anything new to convince the people, to, go with them and vote with them and advocate for them to become a better party, that will lead itself, into death. They need to renew a lot of things, the structures that they have, because as we know right now, ANC hasn't changed anything, and that leads us to say these people are not ready for change. I mean, you can't go about on and on about and say that you are running to be, the ruler of the political game and the political parties in this country, yet you haven't changed your strategies that people have been crying about. So, Mr. JP, I just want to know your thoughts. What do you think of, Mbeki's statement saying that the ANC is sentencing itself to death if they do not renew themselves?
If we're talking about ANC more, it's ANC. We know that it's a mess, right now. But going back to basics, ANC is supposed to be a liberation party that take black people from poor to better place, and we had believed from the beginning when we were fighting for freedom, and the freedom charter thing, it was making sense at the beginning and for everyone. So it's something that we had confident, and when you remember ANC when we started voting, I think it was 1994 if I'm not mistaken. So every black person, it was we were sure that you were going to vote for ANC, whether you like politics, you understand it or not, because of the things that we know it will happen after voting ANC. So, and from the beginning, when Tata Nelson Mandela lead us, it was better, and we still had confidence about ANC and black parties, But when the time goes, people started to be greedy and looking after their pocket and do their own things, which come with repercussions to the party, because you can see each and every time when we vote, they are dropping the vote because people are enlightened and see what's really happening about ANC and how does the government official, which is ANC, behave at the end of the day. And so we're facing such things. So Mbeki is worried about those kind of things because they took long to build ANC and to fight for our freedom. But the people that are in leadership now, they are taking it light and they don't take it serious about what's happening because at the moment they are affording, their salaries are get paid, their relatives are well off, So certain people that are crying and are not getting benefit from this government and they are suffering. So he's just thinking about the future and the leaders that they worked for so many years. It's going to fade and it's not good. So that's why you find him always advising and giving warning to the ANC officials.
I mean, this is new what Mbeki has brought to the table, because it also brings us back, when we were watching and listening to the ANC General Secretary, Mr. Fikile Mbalula, speaking in an interview that the ANC really needs renewal. And out of the 5 options that they had, instead of, choosing to say, what, let us have re-elections and, and see how things are going to go, they chose that they are going to go with the GNU, so it speaks about them showing showing us, because Mr. Fikile Mbalula spoke about it in an interview that, the GNU is what we chose because we choose the people over, our own, experiences, so it's something that is so tricky that as much as we're seeing right now ANC is not doing anything in the newly formed government, which is the GNU. So right now let us just watch what Mbeki has to say in the ANC press conference when he addressed the renewal workshop.
Because when the ANC in the May 29 elections gets 40% of the votes, it translates to me, and fortunately to these comrades, Tammy and the other comrades, in the same way, that this outcome constitutes a threat to the democratic revolution, constitutes a threat to the leader of that democratic revolution, the ANC. That conclusion is correct. And therefore, the question arises immediately. What do you do to defend that revolution and to defend the ANC? And that, in a sense, has been the center of our discussion here, the purpose of our discussion over these last 2 days. Certainly, that was the purpose of the presentations that were made yesterday, to answer these two questions: the defense of the revolution, the defense of the ANC. And in that context, Comrade Tammy says that to implement the strategic task, that the defense of the democratic revolution and its leader, the ANC, two of the objectives our movement will have to focus on without wavering must be: one, to ensure that wherever the ANC serves in government, at the national, provincial, and municipal levels, it turns the page and actually delivers the goods and services expected in each of these spheres of government. Nobody addressed this issue. Comrade Chair,
so Mr. Mbeki is speaking, about the questions that, arises when it comes, to defending the revolution and defending the ANC itself. So, Mr. JP, I just want to hear from you, man, your thoughts about what Mr. Mbeki has said, right now, because he arised so many points, that a lot of questions needs to be asked and a lot of strategies need to be implemented to steer the ship in a different direction. So I just want to hear from you your thoughts about the words of Mr. Mbeki on the video that we just watched. Mr. JP, are you still there?
Yes, Mo. Let me say, you can feel the pain in his voice, and in most cases when ANC is in trouble, is the one who's coming forward, to advise the other leadership, because he's coming far with ANC, so it's painful to see ANC failing to do minor things that are supposed to be done, and then when you remember, it's like when ANC is started to lead, they were given a government with from whites, so even they started everything from scratch to write the law and then the constitution and all those things. So it's painful, if the structure that's supposed to fight for blacks and is not doing well, and they have experience and then they have knowledge, they have understanding what should be done at the ground, So the leadership that they have now, it's all about themselves, and then they're not talking about people and what's gonna be happening, So it's such thing that pains him much, and I think he's the only leader, or with other leaders that I don't know, that they are pushing that let make sure that ANC is not gonna fail, and then it will stand and carry the ship forward.
Mm. Mm. I mean, talking about steering the ship forward and the ANC not failing, because he mentions that if they do not renew the party, if they don't do anything new to the party, so that they can go into the right direction of making sure that the people of South Africa are well taken care of. I mean, he was speaking about how the ANC, turn tables, when it comes, especially after the 29 of May elections that took place this year. So he spoke about in the ANC in the national, ANC in the provincial, and ANC in the municipal sector. They have turned the table. So that also, poses a very huge questions on why are those kind of things happening, and what is their plan and strategy to come up with new ways of turning back those tables, so that we can have a better country for all. So this was Mr. Mbeki again speaking in the UNISA.
I don't think the ANC understands that reality. It is true that you have got many greedy people, many corrupt people. If I ask the question, why is the ANC, which marginalized people as you were saying, why is it behaving like this? I say to the ANC comrades that when you say I must go campaigning next year, to say to people, vote ANC, how am I going to do that? To say, vote ANC, when I know very well that the branch of the ANC in this constituency is led by a criminal. You can't. It's not possible to go and say vote ANC for a criminal.
Those were the words from the one and only Mr. And the former president of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki, speaking about the things that are happening inside of the ANC, the corruption that is going on, and the greediness of the political leaders. He speaks of, encouraging people, and giving the people the way forward, and also the information that well informative on why do you have to vote for the ANC. And the question that is also being posed on people is that how are you going to fix everything that has happened in the past, so that we can regain the trust again. So we have seen in different municipalities that a lot of ANC members are being reported on being corrupt, associated, and looting the money of the people. So it's something that Mr. Thabo Mbeki is speaking about, that if they don't renew themselves as early as possible, we are going to see the death of the ANC. So what are they doing? What are the strategies that they are coming with to make sure that the ANC is well renewed and people can gain the trust back to them? So, Mr. JP, I just want to know from you and your thoughts on what Mr. Thabo Mbeki has just said, because he spoke about corrupt people, he spoke about, greedy people, and, encouraging. How are you going to encourage people to vote for the same ANC if these matters are being taken into the eyes and ears of people?
I think more it was a clear message. People they tend to be ignorant in such instance. Because you talk about greediness and looting from government officials, which is ANC, and then and he's trying to address a fellow comrade and to speak sense to them, to understand what really are they doing? So because like people that are in charge right now, it's like they don't care what's happening, as long as they're looting and then they're filling up their pockets and they're living that life. So they it seems like they're okay. So a person like Mbeki and other old leaders and veterans and so forth, they are worried about the structure and the organization that they made for so many years, and to leave it to people to just leave it like that. So you can feel even the pain in his voice, and when he's trying to address a number of issues and trying to get a way forward about what's really happening in ANC. And there are a lot of people that love ANC and still believe in ANC, whether it's incompetency or not. So people in most cases, they don't even go to vote. And then that's where ANC is losing at the end of the day, because like they don't have confidence in other parties. Some, they only believe that ANC will still do magic, even if they know they see that they are failing. But in terms of coming to what's happening in real life, it's like they don't even know what to say. And it's like what he was saying, the former president, that how can you tell me to canvass for ANC while I know that I canvassing for criminals, and people, they're not gonna get whatever that I'm gonna promise. So
Yeah.
it's something that you need to address and make sure that it it makes sense at the end of the day to each and everyone. But people, they're ignorant at the end of the day. They can listen to him speak speeches and the whole day, and then after that they're doing the opposite. But with such a platform that we have, like us, when we engaging with people, and then they give feedback to the leaders that are leading them from ANC and other parties, it's something that will help for the future and the future of South Africa. So that's something that we need to consider and to understand at the end of the day.
General Secretary Mr. Figile Mbalula was speaking about how they chose people when they had options of re-election, and stating that they had 5 options, and out of those 5 options they chose the government of national unity. So now we take the question to you guys who are watching at home, that how quickly do you want to see things changing in our country, as we are in the newly formed in the 7th administration, the newly government called the Government of National Unity. Please do make sure that you comment down below. We are share online on each and every social media platform. Do make sure that you share your comment and leave down your comment. And also, if you want to call us right now, the number to call is 061 524 7758. 061 524 7758. We would really like to hear your thoughts. So, moving on, speaking about the GNU, we all know that the GNU slogan is called a government united in action and also purpose. So we just want to dive deep into understanding what is GNU, what are the strategies they want to use into moving the country into a better place when it comes to your economical sector, your societal, sector, your environmental sector, into making sure that even the trade sector is done well within those 11 chosen parties that are in the GNU. So right now here in me with me on my screen, I'm just gonna read something that was posted in the government page when they speak about the GNU. We know that the ANC, they are the leaders of this GNU, and now the question is, how fast do you want to see the changes happening in the ANC? So in the spirit of partnership and collaboration, the incoming government will work together with other formations to convene a national dialogue. All parties, civil society groups, labor, business and other stakeholders will be invited to work together to address the critical challenges faced by the nation. They are determined that the principles and the program that underpin the government of national unity extends beyond the institution of state. This is an opportunity for all South Africans to work together more closely with the greater purpose to ensure that we build a South Africa for all. He explained, the president also explained that the formation of the GNU is a fulfillment of the wish of the electorate who did not choose an outright majority in the elections. For all political parties to collaborate in the formation of the government, we have made good on our promise to South African people to work together as political parties for the good of the country and to deliver a government that will be as united in action and also in purpose. This provides a firm basis for greater stability, coherence, and a focus on implementation. This is the first time in South Africa's history that such a broad range of parties from across the political spectrum will constitute a government in mandating us to form a government that serves us all. The South African people have a rightful expectation that the 7th administration begins its work as soon as possible. These were the words from the president, speaking about the newly formed and the 7th administration, the government of national unity, making sure that we understand what it is to be working together. The parties need to work together, and also the people of South Africa need to work together. But now, Mr. Mbeki says if the ANC does not do anything in the next coming days and weeks, they will see the death of the party. How sure is that, and how willingly are they, do they want to make the changes into making sure that the citizens of South Africa, they are taken care well of? So please do make sure to join us on our social media pages and leave down your comment and tell us what you really think about Mr. Mbeki's statement. We are shared online on each and every social media platform, and if you want to call us right in here, our WhatsApp line is 061 524 778 061 524 758. So please do stay with us as we take a short break, and then when we come back, we will discuss our last headline of the day. Eh? Thank you for staying with us and welcome back to Mzansi Affairs. My name is Mbeki Maimane and joined by Mr. Jabulani right here online. Right now, the time is exactly 1 o'clock and we're still discussing our headlines of the day. So do make sure to engage with us and join us on a social media platform. We go by Share Online on each and every social media platform. On YouTube, we are Share Online. Do make sure that you press the subscription button and the notification button so that whenever we come with a newly updated update and news on what is happening on the block, you will be notified. If you're on Facebook, do make sure that you follow us on our Facebook, and also make sure that you go on our Instagram page, follow us, and also we are Share Online on TikTok. Do make sure that you press the follow button and share the live to the people that would love to see it. So moving on, last week musician Lochiko Twala shocked the country when he revealed he took his troubled son Longwe Twala to rehabilitation centers about 30 times. Longwe appeared in court on a charge of theft along with his brother Silla. The siblings allegedly stole music equipment worth about 200,000 from their father. Chico is just one parent amongst many having to deal with their children's addiction. So it's something that we are going to be discussing if you are listening right now. So please we apologize with what is happening with our video, but I hope you guys are getting the sound clearly. So it's something that we are discussing, and it also involves most of the people who are listening right now when it comes to a parent or you are a sibling who is dealing with their children's addiction. So what are the ways are you doing? What do you do, in order to make sure that your children, are not faced by this demon of addiction? And what are the ways you have, been using? So right now, Chico Twala, speaks about sending Longe Twala to rehabilitation centers about 30 times. So, Mr. JP, I just want us to discuss that, the impact that addiction has on the children and also the siblings. And if, someone is a father or a parent, the effect, the effect that it has on them. So, what do you think when it comes, and give me your thoughts, man? I mean, we know that Mr. Twala is our legendary, in this country, so is our legend, in this country. So his son stole equipment worth 200,000, and he decided, you know what, this is enough. Let me report him to the police. Please, your thoughts about that?
It's a very disappointing topic to talk about, and you can tell that there is a problem in our society when a legend like Chico is facing such problems. It's something else. And in most cases, I would think most of the guys that are born in a privileged uh, space, they tend to be drug addicts in most cases because they afford in an early age, and they are exposed to many things. So and they want to try those things because of their movements and affordability, So sometimes to grow in a rural area, in a village, you're not exposed to many things, So maybe it's something that is helping some of us, So we coming from humble beginnings. So when you brought up in where there is a businesses, there is a lot of money, you driving cars, there is a lot that is happening, So you end up exposing yourself to drugs, because you wanna stay high, you wanna be different, you wanna be looked better in the public. So that's what Chico is facing at the moment, and
Yeah,
about the
I was
story
just
of
waiting for you to give me
Longotwala,
an
you know.
appointment
So it's one of those things that we don't know where it started, but now we're following up. But we know that drugs addicted, and then the next thing you will find yourself broke, and then you will start stealing. That's why it end up and you go to jail.
Yeah.
So going to rehab is another thing. They help, a lot, but to the people exactly that are ready to run away from that. So if you can take people to rehab so many times, if they're not ready, so it shows that there will nothing happen in case such instance.
Mm. I mean, today we've got an update on longest Twala theft case. It got another postponement. The Randburg Magistrate Court has once again postponed the case against Longe Twala to next Wednesday. So the Randburg Magistrate Court has once again, they postponed the case against Longe Twala, the son of musician Selo Chico Twala, to September 25. I mean, we also need a follow up on what really happened, what really took place, because last month, the reason why Longetwala is attending this court case and this court case is being postponed and he'll spend another days in jail is that last month, Longetwala and his younger brother Selo were arrested for theft after their father opened a case at the Douglas Dale police station. However, the charges against Selo were dropped due to lack of evidence. It was reported that Longwe allegedly broke into his father's house and stole equipment worth more than 200,000 while under the influence of drugs. The stolen items also included his clothes, household items, and the equipment. This was not the first time Twala has handed his son to the authorities. In 2020, Longwe was handed over to the Deep Kloof police station for allegedly stealing a cell phone. While speaking to the media outside the court 2 weeks ago, Twala revealed that his son had a drug problem which made him prone to stealing. The helper actually witnessed Longwe taking out some boxes and running away. It is his life. He has been doing this for a long time. It is not something new because for his drug lifestyle, as you might know, he has been on drugs. Unfortunately, I had to act and get him arrested, he said when he was asked, how is the things going and why did you do that? And also Twala denied that his son, who is implicated in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, could have pulled the trigger that allegedly killed Meyiwa in 2014, in which is something that has been going on. He is one of the suspects and who has been named. His name has been coming up in the case of Senzo Meyiwa. But now there are talks that the gun that was found on him in the house during when the incident happened belongs to his father, but it's something that people are just speaking about. So right now we are still discussing this matter of people having to deal with children that have addiction, and how bad can addiction be on your child to a point that you get him arrested. I mean, Mr. JP, you just spoke about the privilege of these kids who are born into wealthy families and not knowing how to navigate their life, because all of this time they are being provided with everything that they need, and now when it's the time to step up and become your own, it becomes too much pressure for them and they end up resorting to drugs, they end up resorting to criminal activities. So I just want to know from you, what do you think are the ways and strategies that parents can use to overcome the scourge of addiction in children, as we see that the son of Chico Twala, Longe Twala, is also suffering from the addiction. What do you think are the ways that parents can use to stop the scourge of this addiction on their children?
I think parents they need to hands-on when it comes to children's life. They need to be attention to detail when it comes to that. And the other thing, I think even the government need to be involved in such instance. They need to supposed to teach something like this in school, because drugs is killing our society. So they need to make awareness, in school, because a lot of people go to school, so it will be easy to gather children and to educate them about the drugs, what drugs going to do with their life, rather than starting drugs and then all of a sudden you're looking for a rehab. You don't know what you get yourself into, because when it starts, it looked like it excites everyone, but the ending is bad, because you're ending stealing, you're ending damaging properties of other people's, you end yourself in jail, and it need a lot of money to maintain drug addiction as well. So it's something that we need as a society, as a community, not laughing at Chico, what's happening. And there are a lot of people that are experiencing that they didn't come forward. It's an unfortunate case that Longwe and Chico, they are on spotlight in drugs. So, but it's supposed to be something that we need to understand and attend, as in kids from early age, to understand what's going to happen, because a lot of people, when you're moving around towns, we have street kids. It comes from drugs. Those people, they're supposed to be home with their families, but their families, they're tired because they are taking everything that is next to them to sell, so that they can maintain the drug life. So it's a problem to the society, and we've been facing this for a long time. It's just that we ignoring, and it keep on killing our people, and it's what people, other people crying about, that these people from outside, like Nigerians that are selling drugs, they are killing our society and people. And these things, it goes far to rural areas, to public schools. I know the instance that they've been reporting, and they've been talking about such things. So it's everywhere now, So it's something that need attention. So we need to stand as a country and see what to do about this, and how we can advise our youth and our young ones, and to prevent them to such instances.
Indeed, it is not every parent's wish to see their son going through this turmoil of addiction and going in and out of rehabilitation centers, and also leading up to going to prisons and being jailed and being sentenced over this drug issue, and that leads them to become and do criminal activities. So, the following footage is a footage from the Randburg Magistrate Court when the case was postponed of Longe Twala.
Basis that you need to prepare for the bail application. Right. So you'll remain in custody until the 25th, when we will hear your bail application. Thank you very much. You may stand down. Good, Mr. Twala. The matter is going to be postponed to the 25th of September, right? Okay, for bail application, your lawyer says that you need to prepare for the bail application. Right. So you'll remain in custody until the 25th, when we will hear your bail application. Thank you very much. You may stand down. Good, Mr. Twala. The matter is going to be postponed to the...
That is at the Randburg Magistrate Court, where Longe Twala case was postponed to the 25th of September, where we will be hearing more. But right now, he will stay in custody, and we will hear about his bail application, whether being accepted or not. But this is a very high sketch for parents out there who are dealing with children who have addiction. So it is something that we need to speak about. We need to actually focus on. So it is very, very important for us to bring it out to the people so that they can understand what is it when we speak about addiction. And some of the parents, they are eager into sharing their story with us right here to make sure that people out there, they hear them and they use different ways. They use different ways to help other people. If you have a story with us, please do make sure that you share it with us on our social media platform, so that whoever who is out there can get the encouragement of not giving up when it comes to dealing with children with addiction. Mr. Chico Twala has sent Longe Twala into rehabilitation centers of 30 times. 30 times Longe Twala has been in and out of rehabilitation center, but now he has taken it to higher levels so that he can be helped, because we believe that when a person is being jailed, when a person is being attending court hearings, it's something that it would wake them up and make sure that they do not do it again. This comes after a state witness testified that he was unaware of any injuries sustained by Longwe, which contradicts the defense claims that Longwe shot himself in the foot during an altercation with the footballer. These are some of the statements that comes from the court case of Senzo Meiwa's trial that's still going on. And then Mr. Chico Twala came and responded and said, "My son is not a killer. He would never do that. He did not shoot Senzo, and I won't defend my son. When you say he stole from you, because I know he is a thief, I won't defend him. If you say he takes drugs, because I know he is a druggie. But if you say my son is a murderer, he shot someone, you are definitely crazy." Those are the words from Chico Twala. So we would like to hear from you at home who is watching right now. What do you think, and what are the ways that people can use and methods that people can use to solve the problems that they're having at home with children who are having addictions to drugs? So as we are heading to the conclusion of our today's show, but please make sure that you follow us on our social media platforms. We are share online on each and every social media platforms. On TikTok, we are share online. YouTube, we are share online. Facebook, we are also share online. Also on Twitter, we are share online. And if you want to call us in right now and you want to leave your voice note based on the headlines that we are having today, the number to call is 061 524 7758. 061 524 7758. So, Mr. JP, in conclusion, any last words?
I would say, the Chico story is not a laughing matter. It's not something to laugh about. And even him defending about killing Senzo Meiwa, is being a parent, to show that he care about his son. He send him to the center to rehab, to the center to the center about the drugs, but you mustn't say he's not a killer, because that case, it's sensitive to talk about, and it will unfold at the end of the day, So, but you don't want to see your son rot in jail, as a parent.
Yeah.
So what he's trying to do is trying to defend in some instance, but now he's just taking action, because whatever methods that he tried at first, it didn't work. So he's trying a new strategy, or to threaten him, or for him being in jail, because he's not gonna be exposed to drugs or anything for a while, not forever. So with murder case and that trial, it can cause a lot of confusion, and it can take him for a long time. So he had to say something about that, so he can say he can defend him when it comes to that, and then he talk about stealing and everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean even if he take him to the police station, he was heartbroken, because he even damaged the equipment that he he used to make money and the equipment that made him to be where he is right now, because Chico is a legend and he's been in the music game for a while, and then long way he get privilege from that equipment maybe he stole.
Yeah.
So it there is an attachment with that. That's why even he took that decision. He was angry. I even see the clip that was circulating around, talking. I think they were in the police station when he took him in. He was angry, he was swearing, he was saying that I don't need him to even have a bail. So it shows that he was angry. But when these are going and these things are coming out and the anger is coming out, that person, it become a son. That's why they say blood is thicker than water. So we don't want to see ourselves and our young ones to be in such area. So these things need to be prevented at an early age. So I urge parents to look after their young ones and to educate them about drugs and make sure that they are safe all the time, because it will come to a bad ending if they don't do that.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much. And we will be looking forward into discussing other headlines in the upcoming week. But the conversation does not only end here. Please do make sure that you stay with us and tell us what you think based on the headlines that we have. At the beginning of the shows, we discussed Minister Joe Pahla to follow up on maintenance program at Helen Joseph Hospital. Health Deputy Minister Joe Pahla says that the Gauteng Health Department promised to conduct a maintenance program to fix the Helen Joseph hospitals. And we also came and discussed Mbeki warns ANC failure to renew will lead to the party's death. The ANC is sentencing itself to death if it doesn't renew itself. That's a stern warning from a former president, Thabo Mbeki. And the last headline that we just discussed right now is raising children with addiction. Last week, musician Sello Chico Twala shocked the country when he revealed he took his troubled son Longe Twala to rehabilitation centers about 30 times. Please do make sure that you comment down below and tell us what you think based on the headlines that we discussed today. My name is Moketi Maimane and I was with Mr. Jabulani right here on Share Radio, brought to you by Share Online. Do make sure to follow us on our social media platforms and comment down below. And we would like to say goodbye. Stay safe and have a good rest of your day. We will see you next week, same time, same place, right here on Mzansi Affairs.